Hey there guys and gals, it's me nirex and welcome back to beginner C++ programming tutorial. So I hate to admit, but I have forgotten about one single tiny thing in the beginner series, and I decided to put it at the end of the thing because it's related with functions. Okay, it related to functions. It's called function overloading. Alright, so I wanted to put this into for another video, not the functions video, but for some reason I totally forgot. I mean, I remember that I should be doing this at the time that I was making the functions video. I just didn't want to overload you with, you know, the amount of data or information that I was giving you. So I decided to put it for another video. I did the recursive video, but I forgot about this guy completely. Okay, so what the heck is function overloading? It's something quite simple, nothing to be worried about. It's having two functions with the same name, but not the same signature. So you may have heard me talk about signature in that video a little bit, but we're going to actually delve into it and see what exactly a signature is. Okay, so signature of a phone. Wait, is it right? Signature. Is it? I don't know. So signature. I don't know. I'm just gonna write it like this. If I'm wrong, do correct me. I don't know. I don't care. So we have a function signature. Let me actually just Google that thing right now. So function signature. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Sorry for that. So yeah, I've been sleeping a lot less lately, so that's why I'm, you know, out of the business. Out of the business, if you will. Okay, so what the hell is a function signature? A signature is whatever comes within these two guys plus the name. We don't give a damn about this guy. We don't give a hell about the return type. We don't care about it. We don't even see it. He's the odd one out. Okay, that guy is the odd one out. We don't care about that guy. So basically, function signature is the name. Well, not really the name, but mainly the parameters that we create, or rather define, within the parentheses. So let's say I have an int a, int b. Whoa, bro! I'm not creating a for. So let's say I have something like this. All right, I have a sum. It has an int a and an int b, and it's gonna just, you know, return, or rather, let's say returns an int a plus b, and we return that guy. So quite easy, quite simple. It just returns a plus b, and there we have a function. What the hell? All right, there we go. So the way we create the function again with the same name is quite easy. We just have to take care of one thing, and that thing is that it needs to have another set of signatures. If I do something like this, even if I change the name, easy peasy, it's still going to give me an error. If I try to compile it, function int sum int int, and as you can see, it's int int already has a body. So it already has a body, means I'm redefining it. It's messed up. I can't do that. And as you can see, it doesn't even give a damn about the thing. It just cares about the sum and these two guys within. Even if I change this guy and still try to run it, you see that it gives me other errors. Cannot overload functions distinguished by return type alone. It means that we don't give a damn about the return type. You can't just change the return type and keep these guys the same. So what we can do is work on two things here. So either the number is different, the number of parameters. Let's say I have another int a. Sorry, I have to return something here, which is all good. You know, 3 integers, or I have the same number or a different number, it doesn't matter. So the first choice is to have another number, or have another number of parameters. This could be anything, or this could be a float, could be a bool, whatever. These guys could be anything else too. So that's number one. Way number two is that we need to have different types. So instead of taking two ints, this guy takes another float. Takes two floats rather. And it does easy plus peasy. So if I try to run it, you can see that it builds quite easily. And if I do Control Shift B, you can see that it builds without any errors or warnings. But there's a better way to do stuff like this, you know, like int a plus b, or rather int float float float. It's called templating, or rather generic programming that we use templates for, and we will talk about it pretty soon in the advanced series, not just, I'm sorry, the intermediate series. Not now. Anyhow, so this is basic overloading, and when you're trying to call the when you're trying to call the function, you can see that the IntelliSense in here gives us two options, and you can either use the arrow keys or just use the mouse key to change between them and see the different values that we have, or rather the different parameters that we have given them when defining the function. But one might ask the question, what the hell is the use case of doing some shit like this? So there are a couple of answers to that, or rather a couple of use cases for this question. You will see a huge amount of a huge amount of usage of overloading inside the classes, and when we get to that topic, I will mention how it works. So classes, you can overload a bunch of things inside classes, a bunch of special functions which are called constructors, and you will see that it actually makes quite the difference. So we have that. Okay, we have the class class constructors and operators. Yes, operators can also be overloaded, which we will talk about pretty soon. So we have operator overloading, we have constructor overloading. Don't worry if you don't get those terms just yet, but just know that they are there. Anyhow, that's just one of the usages that this guy has. Another one is that it makes for simpler code. So you have 20 functions which all do the same thing. I can do something like some int, I can do something like some float. But wouldn't it be easier for the guy who is using my functions just to remember one name instead of 2 or 10? So instead of remembering like 20 names, all that guy has to do, all the programmer has to do, is just remember one name, which is sum. Now let me give you a real-world example of a function in math. So we have a function, pow. And as you can see, pow is not really overloaded. I thought it was. Well, do we have this guy right here? Nope. Do we have this guy right here? Let me see. What the hell is overloaded? Is this guy overloaded? No, this guy's not overloaded. Anyways, there are functions that are overloaded. Plenty of them around. Let me just open another project right here for you, the Warp framework, the lovely and famous Warp framework that we all love and praise. And there are tons of functions that are overloaded, everywhere. So if I go to, let's say, like a button right here, you can see that, let's see, yeah, this guy right here, which is a constructor, has been overloaded like 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a special function. Don't worry if you don't get it. Point is, we are using overloading right here. Text box definitely being overloaded. Mouse, definitely not overloaded. Vector, I'm pretty sure this guy is. Yeah, as you can see, no, not really. Yeah, not really using a whole bunch of overloading here, except for controls. But yeah, there are use cases for this guy, and they're pretty goddamn good. So yeah, use them a lot if you can. And don't worry if you just don't see the point in something. It doesn't matter. It will come to you eventually after you code enough, or rather for enough hours. And yeah, don't worry, it will come to you eventually. Not just yet. Maybe not just yet. Like the topic of encapsulation. Everyone was like, what the hell, dude? What, why? Just why? But don't worry, it's pretty goddamn useful. Anyhow, guys, that's been it for this video. Again, I'm sorry I mistook the, or rather I made a mistake about the ordering of this video. So if you have any questions, do ask them in the comments. If you do like this video, leave a like, maybe even subscribe. That will help a lot. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.